Sundaraയ Namo. മധുസൂദനായ നമോ. മാധവായ നമോ. മധുസൂദനായ നമോ. കാരണായ നമോ. നാരായണായ നമോ. കാരണായ നമോ. നാരായണായ നമോ. ഓം നമോ നമോ ഓം നമോ നമോ നമോ. ഓം നമോ നമോ നമോ. മൈഥിലീപതേ രഘുനന്ദന. മൈഥിലീപതേ രഘുനന്ദന. രാമ രാഘവ രാജീവലോചന. രാമ രാഘവ രാമ രാഘവ രാജീവലോചന. രാമ രാഘവ മൈഥിലീപതേ രഘുനന്ദന. മൈഥിലീപതേ രഘുനന്ദന. दीनावना हे करुणामया. दीनावना हे करुणामया. कमलनयना कौसल्यातनया. कमलनयना रघुनन्दना रामा राघवा राजीवलोचना रामा रामा राघवा राजीवलोचना रामा राघवा मैथिलीपते रघुनन्दना 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 श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम 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 जय राम जय Together, Atulita-baladhamam hema-shailavadeham Dharujavana-krishanam Jnani-namagraganyam Sakala-guna-nidhanam Vanarana-madhisham Raghupati-priya-bhaktam Vatajatam namami Raghupati priya bhaktam Vatajatam namami. So till now we have seen listening to the inspiring words of Jambavan. When Jambavan said, Hanuman, you are born to serve the Lord. So Hanumanji takes up this responsibility of searching Sita Mata and taking the message of Bhagavan to Sita Mata. So while crossing the ocean, he overcomes 3 obstacles we have discussed in detail: Mainaka, Surasa and Simika. Finally he reaches the other shore. He was amazed seeing the prosperity of Lanka, where even the compound walls seeing the security of Lanka, Hanumanji decides to enter Lanka after it gets dark. But when he enters Lanka, who stops him? Lankini stops him. Lankini is the presiding deity of Lanka. Even though Hanumanji had taken the size of a mosquito, remember, not the form of a mosquito, the form remains kapi only. Monkey form, mosquito size. But even then, Lankini was able to detect this entry of a foreigner. So she stops him. Hanumanji smashes her with a punch. She falls down unconscious and she recollects the words of Brahmaji. Brahmaji had told that when you are overpowered by a monkey, understand that is the end of Ravana. So she was happy. Then she blesses Hanumanji, saying, "Oh Hanuman, if Bhagavan's grace is with you, remember the Lord and enter into Lanka, then what will happen? All the calamities will become a blessing for you. Poison will become Amrita. Then what? Enemies will become friends. Even the ocean will become just a puddle of water. Even the fire will become cooling. Even the huge mountain will become a dust particle. It's all because of the grace of Lord. So remembering the Lord, you enter into Lanka." So Hanumanji enters. He searches for Sita Mata everywhere, including the palace of Ravana. But nowhere he finds her. But always you will find. Now this is true in our life also. Whenever we are on a crossroad, not knowing what to do, and when we remember the Lord, in all humility and surrender, something will happen. Some solution has to emerge. And this is what happens in Hanumanji's case also. There are so many such instances where Hanumanji is stuck, not knowing what to do. So this was one such situation. It was at that time he finds, what does he find? A palace which looked like a temple with all auspicious marks. So Bhagavan's bow and arrow was drawn on the walls. Tulsi plant was seen in front of that palace. And this was a rare sight because remember, in that Lanka, it is a materialistic culture. The spiritual culture was nowhere to be seen. So a temple-like structure was something which was unbelievable. Even then Hanumanji was doubtful whether this was some kind of maya of these Rakshasas. He was doubtful. But at that time again something happens. What happens? So that happens to be the Brahma Muhurta. At that time, from this palace, it was actually the palace of Vibhishana. Vibhishana wakes up chanting the name of the Lord. Ram, Ram. So when Hanumanji hears this, he becomes fully assured that this is truly some devotee of the Lord, otherwise this will never happen. Getting up, chanting the name of the Lord will never happen. So therefore, Hanumanji volunteers himself. He enters, he takes the form of, what is the form he takes? Brahmana form. He takes the form of a Brahmana and then he introduces himself to, he doesn't introduce, he says, Jai Sri Ram. So Vibhishana sees Hanumanji in the form of that Brahmana. And then Vibhishana says, I don't know who you are, but in your presence my heart is filled with devotion for God. So this itself shows that you are either Bhagavan himself, because only in the presence of Bhagavan your heart is filled with devotion, or you are some great devotee devotee of Bhagavan. This much I can assure. So who are you? Please tell me. So what does Hanumanji do? He doesn't say, I am Hanuman. No. He starts singing the glory of the Lord. And as he starts singing the glory of the Lord, like true devotees should have, both of them, their hearts become filled with devotion for the Lord. Hairs stand on end. There is a horripilation. There is tears, and both of them literally enters into samadhi, we can say. Both of them are quality devotees, not some inferior devotees. So both of them, they were drowned in the emotion of devotion. So when they came back to that normal plane of consciousness, so then Vibhishana started describing his state. Hanuman, I am living in this Lanka like the tongue living amidst the teeth. It is very, very difficult to continue spiritual sadhana in a materialistic environment. Very difficult. It is very easy to do spiritual sadhana in a spiritual environment. That is why we go to Tirtha Kshetras. Now and then, that is what is prescribed in the scripture. Now and then you must go to some Tirtha Kshetra. You must go to some ashram. Because that environment has something to do with the state of mind. When the environment is materialistic, mind tend to become extrovert. But when the environment is spiritual, the mind tend to go inward. So the external environment affects the state of mind, especially for the beginners. For the advanced seeker, there is no problem. Anywhere they can meditate. But for the beginners, it is very, very helpful. Satsang is helpful. Temples, ashrams, etc. are very helpful in spiritual sadhana. So the glory of Vibhishana is, he was in Lanka, but still he retained that element of devotion in him. That is why Vibhishana's devotion is really praiseworthy. So he said, Hanuman, I am staying here like the tongue staying amidst the teeth. And then he says, as far as I am concerned, when I look at myself, I am born in a Rakshasa Vamsha. Rakshasa Vamsha means what? People who love extrovertedness, who love sense indulgence, in whom Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya is very natural. They are called as Rakshasas. Don't imagine some people with horns and all that. Rakshasa. Sometimes they are also called as Asura. Asusuramanti iti Asura. The one who revels in Asu. Asu means sense objects. They are called as Asura. The one who find great relish in sense indulgence. They are called as Asuras. So, I am such a person, born in such a race, and therefore naturally my tendencies are all extrovert. And therefore I have absolutely no devotion for the Lord at all. This is what I find when I look at myself. Now please understand one thing. Though Vibhishana is telling this about himself, don't think that he is an Asura. Okay? All the devotees have this general characteristics. What is that? They always pay attention to their weaknesses, defects, imperfections. And they pay attention to the perfection in others. This is the nature of a saintly person. What is the nature of a wicked person? We all know. We pay attention to the goodness in us. We don't pay attention to the defects in us. In others, what do we see? We see the defects in others. Isn't it? This is the general tendency of any common worldly person. In fact, this is the nature of an egoistic person. Any worldly person is an egoistic person. This is the nature of a person who is ruled by the ego. See, ego always wants to project itself as bigger, better, superior. So what is the best way to prove that I am superior to others? Start finding fault with others. So when you have found fault with everyone, who is left? Only I am left. So I feel nice. I am better than others. So always when this feeling comes, I am better than others, there is a joy. There is a relief. Remember, these are all egoistic joys. Wise people, saintly people, they don't relish this joy. Some joys are poisonous. Egoistic joys are sweet, but poison. It's a sweet poison. It is sweet, but it is poisonous. What is the poisonous aspect of this? The poisonous aspect is you will never have the inspiration to improve yourself. Because you think I am on the top of the world. A person who thinks I am perfect will never put forth effort to improve himself. It is only the person who sees imperfection in oneself, he will do sincere sadhana to come out of that imperfection. So the natural trait of a saintly person is he sees only the imperfection in himself. If 99% he has virtues and 1% he has vice, where is his attention? Upon this 1% vice. So naturally he will think that I am a wicked person. Because his entire attention is upon his defects. So those such great saints, they may speak such words. Don't think that, see, Vibhishana himself has said that he has no devotion. So that must be true. See, Vibhishana himself has said that he is an extroverted, intelligent person. So definitely he must be that. Don't take that way. So, this is the way Vibhishana describes himself. Hanuman, when I look at myself, I am absolutely unfit to receive God's grace. Because I am an embodiment of all imperfections. But when I see things happening, a great devotee like you coming to me, forcefully introducing yourself to me, that itself shows Binu Hari Kripa Milai Nahi Santa. Without God's grace, it is impossible to gain the company of saintly people. So that shows that Bhagavan's grace is there. But when I look at myself, I don't find any reason why there should be grace upon me. So Hanuman, will you please tell me, is Bhagavan's grace is there or not upon me? Am I qualified? So what does Hanumanji say? Hanuman said, Vibhishana, the nature of Bhagavan is such that he has always love and affection for his devotees. That is the nature of Bhagavan. His grace is always there. You are talking about yourself. Look at me. I am just a monkey. So chanchal, fickle-minded, restless, inauspicious. But Bhagavan's grace has always been upon me. So Bhagavan's nature is such that he will never reject anyone. The only thing we need to do is we have to just surrender unto Bhagavan. We should have that attitude of seva. That's all what is necessary. There's a very famous saying. Bhagavan doesn't see whether you are capable or incapable. Bhagavan only sees whether you are available. Your ability is not what Bhagavan sees. Are you available for seva? That's all what is needed. So this way, both of them discuss. No, this is called a satsang. In that association of devotees, when you are in the company of devotees, what kind of charcha happens? Discussion happens. Discussion is all about devotion, devotee, Bhagavan, all good and noble things, noble virtues. So what happens? You will always find that after satsang, you find the mind is relaxed, relief, there is a joy. This is the glory of satsang. You are forced to think good. When you are forced to think good, what happens? So there is a relationship between the thoughts entertained in the mind and the state of the mind. There is a relationship. If the thoughts are good, noble, divine, what will be the state of mind? Mind will be peaceful, cheerful, joyful. If the thoughts are ignoble, impure, vulgar, what will be the state of mind? Disturbed. There is a relationship. So why is it that after satsang we feel mind is very peaceful? Because in satsang all good things are discussed. So this is the joy, it's called a sattvic joy. And all the great devotees, they spend their time in satsang because this is the highest joy which a person can experience. So in this way, both of them, they spend their time discussing all divine matters. And then Hanumanji asked the purpose for which he had come. Vibhishana, I want to know this. Where is Sita Mata? I have searched but I am not able to find. So then Vibhishana is the one who gives guidance to Hanuman as to where to find. But how did Vibhishana know? Vibhishana knew because the one who was in charge of taking care of Sita Mata, all those Rakshasis, the chief Rakshasi, demoness, was Trijata. What is the relationship between Vibhishana and Trijata? Vibhishana's daughter is Trijata. So whatever happened there, Vibhishana knew. So actually in Ashoka Vatika, no male is allowed there. It's all female. So but Trijata was there, so therefore Vibhishana knew what was happening there. So therefore Vibhishana guides Hanumanji how to reach Ashoka Vatika and where to find Sita Mata. So Hanumanji follows the instruction, takes his leave and go to that Ashoka Vatika. Again he takes that same form. Monkey form, mosquito size. He goes and he finds Sita Mata there. What does he do? Dekhi manahi mahu kin pranam Baithe hi biti jaat nisajam Krusatanu sis jata ek bedi Jabati hridaya raghupati gunasreni. So when Hanumanji saw Sita Mata, what is the first thing he did? Mentally, he prostrates unto Sita Mata. Because Hanumanji knew that this is not an ordinary lady. She is Jagat Janani, mother of the universe. So they are all just playing leelas, he knew it. So he prostrates mentally, physically he can't do that. Just mentally prostrates to her. But he was extremely distressed when he saw the condition of Sita Mata. What was her condition? So it's almost now 11 months that she was there. She had not eaten anything. She had not taken any bath. She had not slept. She had not taken any rest. She was just sitting. And what was she doing? How was she spending time? She was looking at her feet in front. And she was remembering Bhagavan's lotus feet. She was not looking here or there, just focusing upon her feet, remembering Bhagavan's feet, and constantly, mentally she was chanting Bhagavan's name. And physically, she had become very thin. The hair had become matted. Matted means what? Jata. So, she was sitting there, meditating only on Bhagavan. So, looking at her condition, Hanumanji felt very sad and miserable. But then what to do? He was thinking, no, what can I do now? Because she is not looking anywhere else. Again, this is another instance where Hanumanji is stuck. How to communicate? Because she will not trust anyone. That is her state of mind. What else can Hanuman do other than remember Bhagavan? Bhagavan, save me. At that time something happens. What happens? Here comes our Ravana at that time. Exactly at that time he comes. See, these are all the, God provided coincidence. At that time Ravana comes, along with all his queens. Mandodari being the chief queen. So now, by the way, Hanumanji was hiding upon that Ashoka tree, behind a leaf. And what was the color of that leaf? It was golden in color, because it was a tender new leaf. Daru Pallava. So it is little golden in color. So behind that leaf, Hanumanji was hiding and seeing everything, whatever was happening there. So Ravana comes. Bahubidhi khalasi tahi samuchava samadana bhaya bheda dekha. Ravana tried all means, samadana bheda danda, in order to influence Sita Mata. Sama means what? Peaceful means. Oh Sita, why are you suffering like this? Without food, without... Such an easy option is there for you. Just become mine, that's all. Why you don't have to suffer like this? So this is called as Sama, peaceful. Then comes Dana. Dana means what? The way of tempting. Oh Sita, if you become mine, this Mandodari who is the chief queen, I will make her your Dasi. You will rule Lanka. This is called as Dana. That also he tried. Then comes Bheda, creating confusion. Why are you all the time thinking of that Rama? I am sure he must have forgotten you. 11 months are over. See, the very fact that he has never come in search of you shows that he doesn't love you. He is a powerless fellow. Otherwise, he should have come by now. I am sure he must have got married also. This is called as Bheda. Sama, Dana, Bheda. So he was trying all his means. And Danda, what is Danda? If you don't listen to me, I am going to kill you. He tried everything. Now Sita Mata did not know what to do with this fellow. Remaining silent is also a problem. Talking to him also is a problem, because she did not want to even talk to him. But then remaining silent would be problematic, because if you remain silent, there is a saying, Maunam Sammati Lakshanam. Silence can be misunderstood as acceptance. So that she had to speak. So what should she do? Now, Sita Mata did not look at him. So in those days, in ancient days, a woman is not supposed to look at another man. So they have this parda and all that, gungat, and sometimes they have this. So they stand behind some screen and then speak. So this was the Indian tradition. Nowadays I don't think there is any such thing. In those times it was. And now is a condition where Sita Mata has nothing to cover. So how to speak? So what she does is she plucks a blade of grass. And now she is talking to this grass, indicating what? Your value for me is like this blade of grass. So now Sita Mata is speaking. What did she say? She says, "Oh, 10-headed monster, is it ever possible that a lotus blossoms in front of a clover?" This is what she says. When does the lotus blossom? It is only in the presence of sun. When the sun rises, the lotus blooms. When the sun sets, lotus closes. So Sita Mata says, so literally it was a great humiliation for Ravana. Is it ever possible that a lotus can blossom in front of a globe? You know globe? That worm behind which there is a small light, especially in the night you see. Jugnu we say in Hindi. Fire. Actually it is not firefly. Firefly is the one which falls into fire, isn't it? I don't know. Sometimes they translate it as firefly, but I think that is not the right translation. Firefly is the one which when it sees fire, it falls into fire. Anyway, I think glowworm is the right translation. So there is a fire which glows at the back of that worm. And you see it only in the dark. So, is it ever possible that a lotus can blossom with that light in the presence of a glowworm? So who is glowworm here? Ravana. Who is Bhagavan? Sun. That mighty sun. Where is Bhagavan and where are you? Is that comparison? And when Ravana heard this, he being compared to a glowworm. Remember, Ravana was the conqueror of the three worlds. He became extremely miserable, humiliated, and he takes out his sword as though to kill Sita Mata. And he charges forward also. But it was Mandodari who comes and stops him. Now this shows the greatness of Mandodari. Just now only what did he say? Oh Sita, if you even look at me, I will make this Mandodari your dasi. And any other woman in the place of Mandodari, what she would have thought? Better kill. I don't want a competitor. Isn't it? A woman's greatest enemy is another woman only. Especially somebody who is distracting the attention of my husband. No one can stand it. That's how they are designed. But here you will find the greatness of Mandodari. She comes and stops her. What you are doing is wrong. She is a Pativrata lady. You are not supposed to do it. And interestingly, Ravana listens to her. So who is the boss? You see, he steps back and want to say, hey, no. So this is the glory of Mandodari. She had literally conquered her husband through love. So they say, no, 5 women you have to remember. So one lady is Mandodari. lady who converted that most unconducive environment for spiritual growth. This is something, we have to learn. Many times we think that, I am not able to spiritually progress because of my surrounding, etc., etc. Here is a lady. Another example is Tara, wife of Bali. All great personalities. As they say, the bitter experiences should make you better. And that is the glory of lotus. That's why in Hinduism, we glorify lotus so much. It is growing in dirty water, but what is it bringing out? Fragrance. You see? What is it bringing out? Honey, for which the bees come. What is it bringing out? Beauty. From the dirty water it brings beauty. That's something amazing. And though it is remaining in dirty water, it is untouched by water. Padma patram iva ambasa. That's the glory of lotus. And this is how we all must live our life. There are imperfections everywhere. Limitations, finitude, pain, tragedy, misery. Yes, but that doesn't mean that you should become a bitter person. Even though at the BMI level everything is imperfect, there is something perfect in you. That's the Lord, the pure consciousness. Shift your attention there and bring out that perfection of the self amidst the imperfections of the world. So, the glory of Mandodari. In fact, you will find that in Hinduism, sannyasa is generally not prescribed for women. They need not take sannyas. Then what is prescribed for them? Pati equal to Parameshwara. Don't come to beat me. This was our Vedic tradition. In Hinduism you will find this. You don't have to go anywhere, you don't have to leave your home. Just take care of your responsibility, family responsibilities. Taking care of children, taking care of husband, enough. If you can do this as a worship of the Lord, now this is a very important term. Pati is what? Not Sampati. Parameshwara. I am worshipping the Lord Himself. He may be an embodiment of all vices, doesn't matter. That's what Mandodari did. My job is to serve. Let me convert this seva as a worship of the Lord. If a lady can do this, then Bhagavan is at her feet. So many stories are there. One famous story is Mahabharata, isn't it? So this Kaushika Rishi, he was doing tapas in the forest, and he had attained tremendous single pointedness of mind. So when he was doing tapas, what happened? One crane did its job, dropping on his head. And then he looks the crane. And in no time that crane was burnt into ashes. He felt very happy. Really grown. Then he goes to the village. Bhavati Vikshamti, Bhavati Vikshamti. So there was some delay. That lady did not come out immediately. There was some time, gap. After some time, a lady came out with some rice. And by that time, this man was boiling. How dare you insult a yati? He said, yes. Seeing his facial expression, this lady understood. You know what did she say? I am not that great that you can just look at me and you can burn me to ashes. He was shocked. How did this lady know what happened in that deep forest? So then she said, my husband is not well. I was taking care of him. So there was some delay while taking care. So this power I attained by looking after my husband. So this story comes in Mahabharata. So the point here is this. Everyone can attain that spiritual enlightenment wherever we are placed, whatever be the station of life. It is possible. So instead of complaining about this unconducive environment, hostile environment, let us make use of that in order to grow spiritually. So these are all the examples. Mandodari, Tara, etc. So Mandodari stops him and he obeys. But then he says, Ravana says, I give you 1 month time. So he's telling to all the Rakshasis there, demons. So the description is there in Valmiki Ramayana. How did those Rakshasis look like? That description is not given here. Tulsi Ramayana is a very sweet Ramayana. Anything which disturbs the mind, it is not there in this. Okay. It's full of sweetness. So in Valmiki Ramayana, the description is the Rakshasi, some had 4 hands, 5 hands, 6 legs. Somebody had the eyes on the stomach, flat face, all such kind of terrible figures. So the very presence of these Rakshasis will, so just imagine Sita Mata's condition all the time surrounded by these. And they were flesh eating also. They could just eat a human being. So then Ravana warned all of them. 1 month time I gave. You must persuade her to accept my condition. Otherwise, I am going to kill her. And then he walks away. So now these Rakshasis, they started troubling Sita Mata. It was at that time Trijata intervenes. And she says, hey, all of you, come here. All of them went because Trijata was the boss. See, yesterday night I saw one dream. What was the dream? In that dream I clearly saw within a few days Ravana is going to die. I saw him sitting on a donkey, completely naked. How many hands? 20 hands, all the hands chopped off. Head, 10 heads shaven. He had 10 heads, but none of them were working. All the heads shaven. Having a hibiscus flower garland. Naked, sitting on the donkey, and the donkey was proceeding southern direction. Southern direction is the direction of death. So that means what? Very soon, this fellow is going to die. And not only that, I saw Vibhishana becoming the king of Lanka. And I also saw that Bhagavan Ramchandraji was coming, the big procession, and he taking back Sita Mata along with him. This I very clearly saw in my dream, and within a few days this dream is definitely going to come true. So therefore, don't trouble her. That's at the point. And all these Rakshasis, they were really scared. All of them went, prostrated to Sita Mata, and all of them left the place. Some people, as Puja Gurudev used to say, cultured give happiness wherever they go, uncultured whenever they go. So the greatest seva these Rakshasis could do was vacate the place. So all of them left. Now we have only Sita Mata and Trijata. So Trijata was a very mature lady and a great devotee of the Lord also. So Sita Mata would see her as mother. So she said, "Oh mother, I am miserable here. Can you do one favor for me?" So Trijata asked, "What is that favor which I have to do?" "Amma, somehow just, arrange one funeral pyre and set fire to that. I just want to end this miserable life. I don't want to continue like this. The sorrow is so much, I am not able to bear it. So the greatest service you can do is just arrange a funeral pyre for me." Trijata said, No, don't talk like that. Very soon Bhagavan is going to come, your misery will be over, etc. But Sita Mata was in no mood to listen. Then finally Trijata said, "See, it is already late night, fire is not available anywhere," and then she just walked away. So now who is left? This is called, Bhagavan just provides the right environment. So there is only Sita Mata, there is Hanumanji sitting there, not knowing how to interfere, how to intervene, how to break the ice. Now there is a poetic portion here. So Sita Mata wants only one thing. What is that? Fire. To put an end to her miserable life. So whatever you constantly think, you start seeing it everywhere. It's a psychology. There was a great philosopher who got lost in the forest. So to escape from these animals, he climbed a tree and he was sitting on a branch. For 3-4 days he did not eat. He could not eat. So what was he constantly thinking? Food. So he looked at the moon. What did he find there? A chapati. He is describing it in his biography. I could not see any more. Earlier, he was a poet also. So he would describe the beauty of the moon. He said, all the beauty went away. Now I see only chapati there. So, this is psychology. Constantly what you think, you start seeing it everywhere. So, Sita Mata was constantly thinking of one thing, fire. Because firewood is available here and there. What is needed is fire. So now she looks at this stars. And then she makes a request to these stars. Oh stars, you have so much of fire. Why not one of you? So many are there, thousands. You can just fall here and give me a little fire. Then her attention goes to the moon, the bright full moon. Oh moon, you are so near. Why don't you give a little fire to me? People who are miserable, everybody abandons. You all have abandoned me. Left me to myself in my sorrow. Nobody is coming forward to put an end to my sorrow. Then her attention went to even closer. So from the stars to the moon, from the moon to this Ashoka tree. That leaf. What is the color of the leaf? Gold. So she was seeing fire in that leaf. Behind that leaf, who is there? You see, all these beauties you don't find in Valmiki Ramayana. It's a very dry Ramayana. Okay. So now she is asking this leaf. Oh leaf, your name itself is Ashoka. Shoka means sorrow. So you are here to put an end to my sorrow. Why don't you just give a little of fire? So with this request, now she is placing her palm, asking for fire. So now Hanumanji is watching all this. So now what is that scene? Sita Mata with the hands upraised in the cup of her, what you call palm, asking, literally looking at Hanuman. Oh, leave, why don't you give little fire? Oh, Ashoka Vriksha, why don't you put an end to my sorrow by giving little bit? And that was the right thing. At that time, Hanumanji drops that mudrika, the ring, which Bhagavan had given. Prabhu mudrika, the wedding ring, in which Bhagavan's name was written. Hanumanji drops it. So as the ring is falling, how does it look like? A spark, isn't it? Golden in color, shining. So she thought it's real fire. She grabbed it. But then it was cold to touch. And she looked, what is this? She found that it is Bhagavan's ring. The first moment she was so happy. But the next moment she was sad. How did this ring come here? It is impossible. Does it mean that Bhagavan is no more? Somebody is killed and taken this ring? No, that is not possible. Does it mean that Bhagavan has been defeated by somebody? No, that is also not possible. Does it mean that this ring has been duplicated? Is a fake ring? That is also not possible. Because this mudrika is Chit mudrika. It cannot be duplicated. How did it reach here? So before we continue with the story, now this part has to be analyzed. What is that? Sita Mata asking for the ring. Hanumanji could just wait, he could not do anything. But then see how that environment, that conditions become so favorable, because of which now Hanuman has got an entry. So this is what we have to think in our lives also. Whatever we have attained in our life, success, glory, name, fame, recognition, awards, rewards, a favorable environment was created, isn't it? So, how much percentage can I give myself? How much credit can I give myself for my success in my life? How much percentage? People say, Tan Padi Devam Padi, 50%. You are a fool. 50%. Not even 1% you can give credit. It's a fact of life. In the beginning I had discussed this. We are all nobodies in life. I am nothing, I know nothing. I have nothing, I can do nothing. This is a fact of life. Whatever we have gained in life, it is all because favorable situations came together. And then I succeeded. Who is that factor? Because of which all this, the situation became favorable. That credit has to be given to God. Life in us is given by God. Talents and abilities have come from God. Resources have come from God. Nimitta has come because of God. Nimitta means that favorable. So therefore, all the credit should go to God alone. will see it in the end when Hanumanji successfully returns from Lanka. When Bhagavan praises Hanuman, Hanuman just doesn't take any credit. He says, everything Bhagavan, it's because of your grace. That is wisdom. A very important thing for us to practice. Every time when success comes, our ego raises its hood to take the credit. Puja Guruji used to tell it beautifully. First there is a brainstorming session. Before the project, there is a brainstorming session. And if everything becomes successful, project is success, then there is a claim storming session. Because of me things happen. But if suppose the project has failed, then there is a blame storming session. Because of him everything went off wrong. Brainstorming, claim storming, and then blame storming. You see, this is called as a play of the ego. So this is where we are stuck in samsara. Somewhere I feel that I am important. And as long as you keep giving importance to this I will remain. As what? As samsari. As long as we are keeping this I alive by taking all the credits, recognition, appreciation, praise, actually we are only nourishing our ego. What do the wise people do? They deflate this ego, puncture this ego. In fact, this world is an ICU. You know ICU? Intensive care unit. There is another definition for ICU. Eye-crushing university. That is this world. This world is designed to crush your ego. If you try to boost your ego, the world is designed that way. Such people will come into your life to crush the ego. Now, which is better, somebody crushing your ego or you yourself crushing your ego? So the wise people, they crush their own ego. Yes. The world is designed, we are dependent on so many factors just to be alive on this planet. Why is this world created this way? The world is created this way so that we can easily get rid of this ego. The world is designed for that. But we are experts. Even in such a world, we know how to nourish this ego. So, the point is this. So if you see this environment, actually Hanumanji is not doing anything. He's just sitting there and praying, Bhagavan, do something. And everything comes. Here is Sita Mata, literally asking him, give. Right. So then the mudrika falls. He just drops it exactly at that time. Conditions are favorable, and when the mudrika falls, she catches it, sees that it is not fire, it is Bhagavan's mudrika. So she was just confused as to how did this come here? Absolutely improper place. So at that time, Hanumanji starts singing the glory of the Lord. He doesn't come in front. And as Sita Mata started listening to this glory, all her sorrow vanished. Of course, Hanumanji was a sweet singer also, great singer. All the sorrow of Sita Mata vanished. And now she badly wanted to see who is this person singing. Then she says, whoever is there, will you please come in front of me? I want to see. Definitely you are a great devotee of Lord. Otherwise this singing filled with devotion can never come. And then Hanumanji jumps in front of her. I think that was a mistake. I don't know. Anyway, Hanumanji came. What is the form? Monkey form, mosquito size. Okay, remember this. He came, and the moment Sita Mata saw this monkey form, she understood that this is maybe Ravana's some trick. Immediately she turned her face away, unwilling to even look at this creature. Then Hanumanji said, oh, Amma, I am the messenger of Bhagavan. I am Ramaduta. So then she asked, how is it possible that human beings come in contact with monkeys? It's impossible. Then Hanumanji explained, Amma, you remember when you were kidnapped in that Pushpaka Vimana? You looked down and saw upon the rocks a monkey sitting there. He is none other than my king, Sugriva. Sugriva along with some ministers, they were the ones who were seated. And then looking at them, you threw all your ornaments. You remember that incident? Now this was something which only Sita Mata knew. She said, yes. So my king Sugriva is now in alliance with Bhagavan, and both of you are searching for you. This was very convincing. And moreover, Hanumanji was speaking with so much of love, so much of devotion, so much of concern. Sita Mata understood that this cannot be but a great devotee of Bhagavan. So whatever he says, it must be true. So Sita Mata finds great relief in the words of Hanumanji. She completely trusts him. And what does she say? Harijana jani priti ati gaadi sajala nayana pula kavali baadi budat birah jaladi hanumana bhayahutat mukha. Oh Hanuman, you have come at the right time. I was literally drowning in an ocean of sorrow. And that's the time when you came like a huge ship to save me. So Sita Mata's eyes were filled with tears. And then she asked, Hanuman, how is Bhagavan? How is his younger brother Lakshmana? Are they fine? Bhagavan is an embodiment of compassion, love. How is it that he has forgotten me? He's not even caring about me. Alas, Bhagavan has forgotten me. This way she was miserable. At that time Hanumanji said, no, Amma, that is not the true case. Bhagavan did not forget you. In fact, let me tell you one thing. How much love you have for Bhagavan, Bhagavan's love is double that for you. It's a fact. You think that Bhagavan doesn't love you. Now listen to the messages Bhagavan has given to narrate it to you. And then Hanumanji is now giving the that message which he was supposed to give to Sita Mata. Kahehu Ram Viyog Tava Sita Mokahu Sakala Bhaye Vitarita Navadaru Kisalaya Manahu Krasan Kala Nisasa Manisisa Sivan. O Sita. Now this is the message of Bhagavan. O Sita. The moment I got separated from you, everything in this world is now behaving hostile. has become hostile, inimical to me. That which is joy-giving, that also is only sorrow-giving. How, for example, these tender leaves, they appear to me like fire. This night, Kalanisha, it appears to me like the night of Pralaya, where everything is destroyed. These cooling rays of the moon, it is no more cooling and soothing for me. It is blazing, scorching rays of sun for me now. Kubalaya Bipina Kuntabana Sarisa. This forest of lotus, which is so tender, these lotus petals, they are not soft and tender, they are like spears, sharp, protruding. Barid Tapata Tela Januvarisa. This rain which is coming from the clouds, they are not cooling for me, they are boiling hot oil which is being rained. This is what I feel. Jehit Rehe Karadate Pira. Those people who are friendly with me, now they appear to be inimical. Uraga Swasa Sama Tribita Samira. This breeze which is so cooling, soft, tender, fragrant, this breeze now appears to be like the hot, poisonous breath of snakes. It is said that when you share your sorrow with someone, that sorrow becomes reduced. But this sorrow, with whom can I share? I cannot share this sorrow with anyone. It is only my mind which knows how much I love you. I hope you understand. So thus the message of Bhagavan gets over. And when Sita Mata hears all this, she becomes immersed in love for Bhagavan. Literally she loses her body consciousness. For some time she stays there. After some time she comes down. And then Hanumanji says, Mother, you don't have to worry at all. Be assured, Bhagavan is very soon going to come. All your sorrow will go away. Very soon Bhagavan is going to come. All these demons, just like how the fireflies enter into fire and burn themselves in no time. In the same way, in front of Bhagavan's arrows, all these demons will die. In fact, this much delay was only because of one thing, one reason. The delay was because we did not know where you were. Now that we have understood that you are here, we know. Now it is just a matter of time. Very soon, Bhagavan is going to come along with his huge army of monkeys. And then he will kill all these demons and then he will take you back. So very soon Bhagavan is coming along with the monkeys and they will kill all these Rakshasas. Now Sita ji looked at him. He is the mosquito says. Hanuman, tell me, all monkeys are of your size. There is solid humor in this. Sundara Kanda. Seriously, sir, all monkeys are of your size. These Rakshasas, you don't know what size they are of. She was not convinced. And then Hanumanji had to do. He started becoming huge. Hemashailavadaya. Huge. And when Sita Mata looked at his size and strength, she was in awe. My God! So you can imagine Sita Mata looking like that. And you know what Hanumanji did? Immediately, Punila Kurupa Pavana Sudale became very small. Hanumanji did not like that. That is the glory of Hanuman. The moment he is being praised, he would become miserable. Immediately he became small. And what did he say? सुनु माता शाखा मृग नहीं बल बुद्धि विशाल प्रभु प्रताप ते गरुड़हि खाई परम लघु ज्ञान. Oh mother, I am just a monkey. Shakha mrigam. Shakha mrigam means what? The only thing I know is jumping from one shakha to another, one branch to another. Such a sin. Nahi bala buddhi. I don't have strength. I don't have any wisdom. Nothing. I am a mere monkey. But by the grace of God, what is it that cannot happen? Anything is possible by the will of God. By the will of God, even a small snake can eat away Garuda. Actually, the opposite happens. Garuda eats all snakes. But if God's grace is there, even that small snake can eat Garuda also. That is the power of Bhagavan's grace. So therefore, please don't give any credit to me. And when these words came from Hanumanji, Sita Mata was floored. You know. And then Mana Santosh Sunat Kabibani. Sita Mata was extremely pleased listening to this. Bhagati Pratap Tej Balasani, his words were filled with humility, filled with devotion, reverence for God. Now she felt that I must bless him. Okay. What that blessing is, we will see tomorrow. That's another topic. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Hari Om.